Welcome to the third and final video of our Turkish adventure. For our last destination, we chose Pomokali.
Yes, we considered two options when traveling from Cappadocia to Pomokali. Firstly, we could take the overnight bus that will take more than 10 hours, or we could fly. We opted to fly.
The only problem is there are no direct flights from Cappadocia to Pomokali, so we had to fly back to Istanbul and catch a connecting flight to Denizli.
We decided to plan a trip to Turkey on very short notice. We only had a month to make all our bookings, and by that time, all the popular midday flights were already fully booked. So we were left with early morning or late afternoon flights to choose from.
So we departed from Nevşehir at 8:40 a.m. and arrived at Istanbul around 10 o'clock in the morning. And our next flight was only at just after 6 that evening, so we had to spend the whole day at the airport.
Yes, and that is not recommended to anyone. The reason being, firstly, it is very expensive to eat and drink at the airport. To give you an example, when we were in Cappadocia, we bought a 1 liter of Coke for 13 Turkish lira, but at the airport, a can of Coke cost more than 50 Turkish lira. And secondly, it felt like a waste of time to spend a whole day at the airport when we could have done much better with elsewhere.
That's so true. And to make things worse, our flight was delayed with 2 hours and we only arrived in Denizli after 9 that evening.
But there is always a silver lining to a dark cloud. On our flight to Denizli, I made a Turkish friend. We had such a lovely conversation. I got carried away and I forgot my reading glasses on the airplane. To make a long story short, I got them back, and that is all thanks to our bus driver who could not speak a word of English, and the owner of our hotel where we stayed. He really walked the extra mile. I would just like to say thank you to them again.
They were amazing. So when going from Denizli to Pomokali, we can recommend taking the bus. All the buses are lined up outside of the airport terminal and you just have to ask around for the one going to Pomokali.
Yes, if you remember correctly, we were the only two people on that bus.
We were. It was a great experience. The bus driver dropped us off right in front of our hotel and it cost 85 Turkish lira per person one way at the time we were traveling.
I consider that to be a bargain.
We stayed at Pomokali White Heaven Suite Hotel, which is located only 5 minutes walk from Hiropolis ancient city and Pamukkale travertine. This hotel has a unique appearance with its wooden decorations and handmade mosaic lamps. If you are looking for accommodation in Pomokali, I can recommend Pomokali White Heaven Suite Hotel. On a hot summer day, you can take a dip in their beautiful swimming pool to cool down. In the garden, there are many spaces where you can just relax and enjoy a little bit of nature. You can taste some local cuisine in the restaurant, which I might add was delicious. In the morning, you get served a traditional Turkish breakfast starting from 8 o'clock. The staff were really kind and friendly. They offered to drive us up to the south gate of Hiropolis and also collected us once we were done. The entrance fee at Hiropolis was 150 Turkish lira, and for an additional 75 Turkish lira, you could get an audio guide. The extensive ruins of the Roman mineral water spa city of Hiropolis include a grand theatre, a vast north necropolis, colonnaded street, baths, and numerous other ruined structures. We entered Hiropolis around 9 o'clock in the morning. At that time, a few tour buses was already present, but it was not too crowded. You have to remove your shoes before walking on the travertines. Pamukkale, meaning cotton castle in Turkish, is a town in western Turkey known for the mineral-rich thermal waters flowing down white travertine terraces on a nearby hillside. Don't let the name Cotton Castle mislead you. The surface of these travertines are quite rough and are uncomfortable and some places even painful to walk on. The bottom of the pools has a clay-like feeling and the water appears milky when walking around. Later in the day, it did seem to get a lot more crowded, so if you want to avoid the crowds, it's recommended to go earlier in the morning or even late afternoon. It neighbors Hiropolis, which is an ancient Roman spa city founded around 190 BC. Somewhere deep in the earth beneath Pomokali and the ancient Roman city of Hiropolis lies a vast source of water heated by volcanic lava. The water dissolves pure white calcium, becomes saturated with it, and carries it to the earth's surface where it bursts forth and runs down a steep hillside. Cooling in the open air, the calcium precipitates from the water, adheres to the soil and forms white calcium cascades frozen in stone called travertines. For those of you who are more adventurous, you can go and try the paragliding. The city's great Roman theatre, capable of seating more than 12,000 spectators, provided the perfect venue for entertainment. The structure is in pretty good condition. Italian artisans were engaged in 1972 to restore some of the fancy marble decorative stone, and the stage and seating were renovated. So is Pomokali worth a visit? I really enjoyed our time there, and I would say there's enough things to see and do to fill up a whole day. So if you're planning a trip to Turkey and you have one free day, this is a very good destination as an add-on to fill up the trip. Things I think we would have liked to do differently is maybe spend more time at the Hiropolis sites and maybe hire a golf cart, because it's a very big area to cover, so that would have enabled us to see more of it. And get a guide, I would say. It would have been nice to just have someone to tell us more about everything there is to see, the history. And if we had even more time, maybe go into the Hiropolis pools and have a nice swim there. Unfortunately, that is additional cost to go in there, but I've seen pictures and it looks very nice.
Yes, my expectations of Pomokali was a bit different. I expected the pools to have more water, and I hoped for it to be less crowded like the images you see on Google or Instagram or Facebook, but reality is sometimes a little bit more different, but it's still beautiful. I still enjoyed it a lot. Something that I wished I could just adjust is something for your feet. Walking down those travertines, it's nothing like cotton. And some places it's even torture. But thank you for watching our video. Like and subscribe, and join us on our next adventure. Anna is having a birthday on an African safari.